Blunt Talk with LT, episode 68. This episode's brought to you by StackWap.com. This episode's also brought to you by Patreon.com. Patreon.com/Blunt Talk with LT. Subscribe, become a patron. We have episodes dropping every Friday. Patreon.com/Blunt Talk with LT. All right, so we're going to get into it. The first topic we're going to talk about is Ari Shaffir. There's been a bunch of wild, flagrant disrespect from, different platforms and random people on, the in the media and on the internet against Kobe Bryant. Random shit, just random bullshit, people pulling up old shit, just random people getting in their moment to get attention and hate. But Ari Shaffir went out of his way to drop this video. And this video, when I watched it, I was just like, what in the fuck was he thinking with this one? But let me just play this right here. What do we got? All right.
There's always a lot of hate, pain in the world, and there's always a bunch of terrible stories. And every once in a while, there's a good story. Good story comes out. The guy who got away with rape got his today. Kobe Bryant is a god. I'm here in Charlotte, the home of the team that originally drafted him. Maybe he wouldn't have raped that chick in Denver if he had stayed in Charlotte with the Hornets. But anyway, the point is, dude, it's as I know, there's always
what, okay, that's where the video cuts out. But why would you post this video? In what world did you think that was the move to do? Or I know people are going to be like, he's a comedian, he was trying to make a joke. What joke is that? That's not a joke. There's nothing fun. There's no punchline. There's no prep. There's no setup. That's not a joke. That is just him being happy for the loss of Kobe Bryant and just laughing at it. Ari Shaffir, for me, I know Ari Shaffir through Joe Rogan. I listen to a lot of Joe Rogan podcasts. He recently got a lot of flack for, drugging Bert Kreischer without Bert knowing, and then Bert was around his family, and then he had shows to do. He had to travel, so he was fucked up being drugged, and then his wife never forgave Ari to this day. When I see videos like that, I'm like, what? For me, okay, so I don't know, man. People are canceling Ari Shaffir. You have to actually be subscribed to him to cancel. I'm not subscribed to him. I just watch him on Joe Rogan whenever he pops up. For me, I'm not okay with those statements. I don't think that you can hide behind the "I'm a comedian, that's a joke" thing. That rape shit for Kobe got dismissed. He beat those charges. He was found not guilty. So at what point does, being proven not guilty, or at what point does an allegation not have the power to control you like it's a conviction? Because for him to say that after he tragically dies, bringing his daughter to a basketball game of hers, and there's other families in the helicopter, 9 people died in total, for you to laugh at a tragedy like that, and then there's going to be people saying he wasn't laughing at his daughter, he wasn't laughing at the event, he was laughing at Kobe and his disdain for Kobe. Regardless of whatever he's laughing at, that's not the move. That's not the look. I don't know what type of attention he was seeking. I don't know if he has a comedy special dropping or something. I don't know what type of look he thought that would do for him, but that's not the look. That's not the move. I don't respect any part of that. You don't disrespect the dead. His family's grieving freshly from this incident. I don't care about your personal feelings for whatever the fuck you think is the social justice move to do in this instant. It's wrong. It's terrible. Ari Shaffir has good friends and a great circle and a lot of smart people around him. He should have known better, and he should have actually got some sort of speech from Joe Rogan or one of his close people to tell him that that's not the wave. He immediately took it down, I'm not sure if it was immediately, but he took it down eventually. But that people already got it. The internet already got a hold of that, and that's just not the look. That's not the wave. His talent agency also dropped him in light of the Kobe Bryant remarks. So Aqua Talent Agency dropped, Ari Shafir on January 27th. So, you lose connections like that. You lose sponsorships. You burn bridges. You shouldn't do shit like that. Like, I don't know what type of drugs he was on that morning when he felt like that was the wave. Well, he was in Charlotte. He probably had a show there. I don't know what the fuck he was thinking, but that's just not the move. Yeah. It's not a good look. All right, what else do we got here? Let me stick on canceling and let me stick on the Rogan family tree of shit. Okay, so Joe Rogan pretty much is being disrespected by CNN in a tweet. CNN called him homophobic, racist, and transphobic. CNN pretty much threw everything, and they threw the book at Joe Rogan. They threw everything they can to try to say this guy's a bad person, like homophobic, racist, and transphobic. It's like they're trying to get all squads together. It's like, nah, we're not buying that. Joe Rogan is 1,500 episodes in or something. We listen to Joe Rogan speak for hours upon hours to know that he's none of that. It's like CNN did that because he said good stuff about Bernie, and in some cheap way. Like for me, when I look at the way the media reports, I'm like, what is their agenda, and what is their big hate and disdain for Bernie Sanders to the point where they tried to completely cancel Joe Rogan or completely try to slander his name for saying good things and genuine things about Bernie Sanders. If that's his genuine feelings from his interactions with Bernie Sanders, and he feels like he's a consistent person, he's always had the same goals, and you look at Bernie Sanders' track record and it's consistent the way Joe Rogan says, it's like, why all of a sudden, since Joe Rogan says something good, because Joe Rogan has such a large platform, it's Joe Rogan is homophobic, he's transphobic, and he's that for me, I hear that, I'm like, that's hilarious. That is the quintessential slander type of campaign that they try to do when they don't agree, and it's just so you can see through it so easily. It's like it's not even believable in any type of source. Like, I don't know what CNN was thinking. It kind of discredits their brand, and it discredits let me pull up the actual tweet, because when I seen it on Twitter, I was like, this is actually from a CNN profile. Like, someone from the CNN news group felt like, okay, this is what we're doing, and this is the tweet we're gonna send out because this is the agenda that we feel like we're gonna, put forth today. And misguided isn't even the word, because, okay, so this is the tweet. Bernie Sanders is facing backlash from some Democrats after his campaign trumpeted an endorsement from comedian Joe Rogan, a popular podcast and YouTube talk show host with a history of making racist, homophobic, and transphobic comments. That's what they said about Joe Rogan. Verbatim, that's the tweet right there. And it's really just trying to put the narrative that Bernie Sanders is facing backlash because somebody took liking to him or endorsed him, because that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That's another plan to try to sabotage Bernie and, make I feel like he's been sabotaged forever from the Hillary Clinton times. But for me, I think this may not all, when I'm saying it and I'm thinking about it, there could be another angle to this. There could be the angle of Trump fills up all the media space because there's always something negative being said about Trump. And then his supporters say, nah, that's not true, this is that, and it riles up the supporters. I feel like they're probably going with okay, Democrats, let's get at somebody that we know is strong, somebody that we know if we say this, it's absolutely bullshit, but it's going to take up media space and it's going to create content and conversations. So they put something like that out to try to get at Bernie Sanders, but really and truly, they're not really trying to get at him. They're just trying to prop him up and have him fill up media time. So who knows? There's plenty of angles, and that's just to play devil's advocate to see if there's another reason for such a ridiculous statement. But there's always different angles at why somebody does something. But if you don't know the intentions, it's hard to know, the agenda. or vice versa. Um, what else do we got here? Um, okay. Nicki Minaj's brother has been sentenced to 25 years to life in prison for sexual assault, rape on a 13-year-old child. Um, Nicki Minaj has not made a statement. Nicki Minaj has focused on other stuff and made random posts and refused and declined to make statements. She once defended her brother and had his back in court financially. So families ride for family. But if what is true or what is alleged is true, which he got convicted for, so it's kind of leaning on that side. He kind of deserves that shit because that's the one thing. For me, I'm never a fan of people being in jail, but once you're a rapist like that, then you deserve that shit. There's no sympathy for these rapists and child molesters. I fucked with Nicki Minaj, but if that's your bro doing that shit, that's fucked up, and you know deserves what he gets. Um, what else do we got here? Okay, okay. Let me get into some fucking shit that I'm more interested in before I get out of the. Okay, so ASAP Rocky and Rihanna apparently are reportedly dating right now, according to Double XL and some other news outlets that we got here. But Double XL is leading the story. Double XL pushes that they're allegedly dating because they've been seen out together on numerous occasions and seem extra close and flirty on these alleged dates. So that's the word. ASAP Rocky and Rihanna. I thought they were together before at some point in time, but maybe they just kind of hinted at something, or there was just something there that never got acted on. But um, they're both in the fashion world, so that's a good look. The energy is kind of it's like a good energy to stake. Their vibe, I feel like it's a good look aesthetically for them couple wise. Power structure and dynamic of relationship might be a different thing to speak about because I feel like Rihanna's kind of up here a bit, like she's a little higher than where ASAP is financially and status wise. So that kind of could have a negative toll on the relationship when the woman is so much higher in status than the male if a male's ego isn't in check or he doesn't know how to handle something like that. So we'll see. I would like to see that relationship. That seems like a good Hollywood celebrity relationship, another power couple. Um, yeah, nothing against that. What else do we got here? Okay, so okay, I wanted to get to this shit. Vlad, basically Vlad. Okay, so Royce the 5'9" dissed Yellow Wolf, and Vlad felt the need to basically give some insight to why he dissed him and some background history from some conversations he had off air, and he shared this with Lord Jamar on air, and I'm happy he did because these hip hop backstories to things are always interesting. So Yellow Wolf pretty much is a racist, and he refused to not use uh, the word nigger, not even nigga, like nigger with the hard R around one of Royce the 5'9's up and coming young black artists. And him and his DJ were just in complete refusal to stop saying the word. And he, approached him on it, and then he told Royce about it. So it's like Royce wasn't fucking with it. Yellow Wolf is no longer affiliated or on Shady Aftermath, so Eminem part ways with him after all this shit too. But clearly Yellow Wolf always had this little like I never wanted to like be one of those. I didn't want to be prejudiced towards him and put that be like, okay, you got that vibe, so you kind of look like a racist because his whole hick vibe to him. I didn't want to put that on his name because some people just have that. You look at them, you're like, you kind of have that racist looking vibe to you, but you can't put that on them until they actually show that type of actions, and you don't want to have that negative bias. So I never actually attached that to him ever. I'm like, you're a rapper. You're with I believe he's with Fifi Dobson. Fifi Dobson is a mixed woman. Fifi Dobson grew up in Cross Tracks. She grew up on the block I grew up on for a little bit before she dipped out. She moved pretty early. She's mixed, yeah. Half white, half black, and he's like, that's his wife. So, maybe I should Google that before I say that's his wife on my podcast and stamp that. But I've heard that somewhere. Um, yeah. So people say he can't be racist because he has a mixed wife or he has a black wife, and I'm like, yeah, not really. He's infatuated with rap. He loves rap. He loves the genre of rap. He loves, he has black influences. He has, love for black women. Can still be on the racist side. It only takes, somebody that has all the right intentions to be like, you know what, I want to say nigger and I'm going to use it and this is not to be called racist and have, that racist stigma put on them. And it's like you are at that point if you have complete refusal and complete lack of respect for the term and for people around that feel that you shouldn't be using it. So you can feel whatever you want. You can love certain things you want part of the black side of it, but you can't cross those lines and expect to not be looked at as someone that's not racist. So Yellow Wolf, he's holding that negative backlash because of it. It's a good thing that Vlad put that out there. Shout out to Vlad. Sometimes I debate certain See, the thing is, sometimes I disagree with certain people. Like, I've disagreed with Joe Rogan before. I've disagreed with Stephen A. Smith before. I've disagreed with Vlad. I've disagreed with so many people in the media. And I make my statement or I make my stance public. And all of a sudden, people think I hate these people. And then their fans come for me and shit. It's like, nah, I just disagree with something they say. I watch them clearly all the time. So clearly, I have to be listening to them to disagree with them in the first place. I'm paying them attention. They're part of, the entertainment circle that I'm listening to. So it's like for people to say certain things, it's like, come on, son. Like I said this the last episode. I know subscribers and people that watch my show don't agree with everything I say, but that's the point. You're not supposed to. This is just my perspective. I give you a reason for my perspective. I put it out there. You give me yours back or whatever, and we keep it pushing. But it's like at the end of the day, you're not going to agree with everything. It's not about agreeing with everything. It's about enjoying perspective and enjoying whatever the hell you're watching and, getting certain perspective and, growing your horizon and all of that fancy shit. Okay, what else do we got here? Pastor Troy. Okay, Pastor Troy went on I don't even know how Pastor Troy started trending and this became a big story, but he had a couple of homophobic comments towards Lil Nas X and some sort of Grammys, and he said, well, guess I won't be winning a Grammy if this is what you gotta wear. And he posted this picture of Lil Nas X and, said they love to push this on our kids and blah, blah, blah. And for me, it's like, Pastor Troy, you were in the Grammy conversation? What do you put out? Like, you have some shit out there that's Grammy worthy? Or are you just blaming your lack of success on an up and coming, young guy doing his thing just because he's gay and you're not getting that spotlight? It's like, who are you? How old are you? And you're talking about your kids said fuck Applebee's because they seen two people kissing. It's like, yo, it's a free world in America. You may not agree. That may not be what you're doing, but who the fuck cares? Does that have to be your business? Does that have to bother you? No, you're just being intolerant and stupid. So he's getting backlash for being homophobic, and he deserves the backlash because it's like, what the fuck? Like, mind your business, son. Like, at the end of the day, it's like, if you're not winning Grammys, then do something Grammy worthy. It's like, you can't sit up here and talk about not winning Grammys if you have nothing actively on charts and you have no buzz and no one gives a fuck about you. It's ridiculous. Well, you got your little attention from, whoever reports on it, but that's about it. What else do we got here? Okay, what else do we got? Okay, I want to spend a short time on this, get this out of the way real quick. That lady, that news reporter that said she said knackers because she was mixing up the Knicks and the Lakers and she combined it and she made everybody waste their time and, focus on the audio, lift the audio, do all sorts of stuff to the audio so we can clearly hear that she said niggers. When we heard her say niggers the first time, it's like she was fired. Great. She paused and said niggers. It's like she paused, she had a second to collect herself, and then she said the word. And she was, reporting live. Some people aren't built for that live shit. You're not built for that live shit because your racism comes out and your thoughts in your head sometimes comes out when you're trying to speak on a story. She probably had some sort of disdain for Kobe when she was reporting on the story, and it just got mixed up in her head, and all of a sudden the nigger came out, and it's like, fired, but it's life. You put your racism on display on, media, stations like that. They can't. If they endorse that, if they kept her on their media lineup, it will be negative backlash for that network. They have no choice but to fire the lady. So suspension will still have a lot of people up in arms. So, and people will remember her face when they see her. So they're not gonna. I don't think a suspension would be that significant for that type of offense. What else do we got here? We got so more than 1,000 people on 3 trips or 3 flights from China enter Canada without any without any medical screening. So people are concerned that a lot of people from China are returning, are making trips. There's families returning that went on trips to China, and then people that are, tourists coming from China. People are complaining about that because of the coronavirus in Wuhan, China, and there's 138 deaths at the moment, and there's cases spreading around the entire country, not the entire country, the entire world, in U.S., Canada, UK, all sorts of places in Europe. There's cases of not that many at the moment, but there's cases of the coronavirus. So people are really discriminating against people traveling from China or certain Asian regions because they don't want to get sick, and they think it's a real bad epidemic. And a lot of stats and a lot of things are being hidden in the media, which makes people not trust it more. When the media is putting out certain things and then Chinese officials are hiding certain stats, it makes you feel like this shit is way worse, and it could be worse than what they're putting out there. And they're trying to make it seem like it's a small thing, and they're going to get it under control, and people are going to be quarantined, and they'll figure it out, and blah, blah, blah. But it seems like they're hiding a lot of information, and it's getting a lot of people nervous because they're like, why are you hiding the information? It must be terrible. So the media needs to do a better job. The Chinese officials need to do a better job of, giving correct information. And medical screening, I don't know, because customs and traveling is already a pain in the ass, especially if you're just traveling, you're trying to get back because you're trying to get away from that shit. But a medical screening for thousands of people coming in on the airport, I don't know how feasible that is. But for the protection of the rest of the citizens, I feel like a lot of people are going to take that serious and want that to happen. But just from a logistical standpoint and just time and everything, for me, I don't understand. I don't know if it's actually possible to screen all these people coming in and knowing which people are coming in from. I'm pretty sure it is possible, but I don't know if they're gonna actually do it. So we'll see what happens going forward and how serious this coronavirus actually ends up being. But let me get back to the fuck shit before I get out of here. So Minnie Mouse fired after fucking shit up. So Minnie Mouse, this girl that was hired at Minnie Mouse, was getting fucked with by security. So this was her response, and let me watch this video of her. All right. Ooh, Mickey she hit the Mickey with a left too. Oh shit. Oh, she's fucking shit up. Sorry to my audio listeners, you can't see the video. This happens once or twice an episode. But yeah. Yeah, so she got fired after this, beating up a security guard. I don't know where this actually is, but that is the report. I just like to finish off the episode sometimes with a lighthearted, easy, ratchet display of some fuck shit. So yeah, that's where we're ending it. Episode 68. We're gonna be back soon. Blunt Talk with LT. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the Patreon if you want that extra episode every Friday. Patreon.com/Blunt Talk with LT. Yeah.